להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור של יום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר הסתר ואמונתך בלילות עלי אסוב עלי נבל עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור של יום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור של יום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון. ישמי אדוני בפועלך ונושא ידיה ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור של יום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור של יום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Mahuto.
אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיהם. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיהם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לי.
ופורחים כוכבים במרום הטל, והחן בלמת הלבן מלבך המלך, לירד,
wonderful to welcome all of you into our sanctuary, to all come together on this Erev Shabbat. I'm very mindful, having listened a little bit to the news today, not a lot because I don't like to listen too much at the moment, but a little bit, that not everybody may have had the same kind of day that I've had or that we have had here in Northwood or Chorley Wood. I recognise that there are people who are in Glasgow who may be feeling rather dull at the moment for not being able to come out, at least for another week of lockdown. There may be people from India who are still struggling desperately with the pandemic. And there are others whose own personal circumstances make this a little bit of a difficult time, just to celebrate an Oneg Shabbat. But we're here to try to do that all together, to bring some light into our lives, to bring some joy into our lives, if just for a moment. So for a moment, you might like to stand and light your candles together with us as we join together, literally, with Jews throughout the world. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom to everybody, to all of you. Shabbat shalom also to somebody who, if you haven't been part of the Ark for a good many years, you may not know, but a gentleman named Ian Downs. And Ian has helped us for decades now with our sound at High Holy Day services. And we're delighted that he's joining us this evening and for Kiddush as well, to allow us to be able to say thank you to you. Just as Spencer, our president, is saying now in a presidential manner, hopefully he'll get the opportunity at Kiddush if all things go well. Last year was the last time that he was here, came down to the sanctuary, saw the setup, and I think maybe scratched his head as well. This evening we've got Richard without Rabbi Leah. So he's shaking his head at the moment. He's going to have a great night. We're all going to have a great night as long as we all join in and sing together. Let the fields be jubilant and everything in them. Let all the trees of the forest sing for joy as we do. wonderful that people are singing together in Gothenburg. It's amazing this evening that we're joined by our twin community in Lviv in Ukraine. I know it's a really, really tough time for all of you, and so it makes it very special that we can hopefully bring joy together. Ruth and I are looking forward to singing with you later on in the year, a special concert that we are going to put on together, our joint communities. We hope the music this evening is a little bit uplifting for you and for everybody. After all of the energy of Lechuna Ranana, let us join together in the psalm for Shabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסרה, באמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני.
Would you please rise?
Baruch Hu
Please be seated. And looking out the window, let us all read together. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening full.
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael. Shem kavod mahuto leolam va'ed. Shem kavod mahuto leolam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol ma'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavah hayom al levavecha.
V'shinantan levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, v'vletecha v'derech, v'shochbecha u'kumecha. V'shavtam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot beinenecha, v'uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'vish arecha.
seated, please feel free to be so.
Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v're'al kol yoshvei tevel.
Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imachot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Hozeh u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. At Gibura Le'olam Shaddai, Machaya Meitim At Rabbah Lehoshia, B'Shiva HaRuach u'Marida HaGeshem, Mazricha HaShemesh, u'Marida HaTau.
Mahaket Haim B'Hesed Machaya Meitim B'Rachamim Rabim Somet Noflim Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem et Emenato L'Shenei Alpha Mi Hamo Balakavurot Umidomala Gavura Mamita Umachaya Umatzmicha Yeshua
B'nei Mana At Lahachayot Meitim, Brucha At Shaddai, Machaya HaMeitim. You are holy, awesome is your name. We have no God but you. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Please be seated.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotav B'arit olam Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai Et hashamayim ve'et haaretz U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas.
And together, our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, Eternal One, for the holiness of the Sabbath. We continue. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael, utfilatam b'havat kabel,
Uthi ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, be'ira na'avod.
We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God. As you were the God of our ancestors, you were the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness,
to whom our thanks are due.
Shalom.
Rabbi Israel Amcha, Prasim Leolam. Shalom Rabbi Israel Amcha, Prasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, L'chol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, L'chol hashalom. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha, Prasim Leolam. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha, Prasim Leolam. L'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. B'oledu sha'am b'shlomecha.
Shalom.
Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha, Prasim Leolam. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha, Prasim Leolam. Prasim Leolam. Prasim Leolam.
Baruch atah Adonai, Osei HaShalom.
Ratzon imrei fi, ve'yon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzori, Adonai tzori. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol bnei Adam. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oseh shalom shalom b'mrama. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
Creating such peace in our small sanctuaries, coming together on this Shabbat. We think of times where music has brought us all together. Perhaps it's been hundreds of people in a Colosseum, with the sound checks done before by Ian Downs and our choir, 40-odd strong, singing their hearts out, singing together in harmony. At other times, music has been used to gather people together. We think of the muezzin in a minaret calling people to prayer, and it wasn't within Israelite tradition a muezzin or a single voice, but 2 silver trumpets, we're told, in this week's Sidra. 2 silver trumpets which would call the people to assemble, to break down the camp, to march, and also into battle. This evening, our music has just brought us, hopefully, some peace. Whether our instruments be made out of metal, made out of wood or any other materials, or perhaps it is just our voices, this evening we bring them all together, coming together to celebrate a simple Shabbat, and also to say thank you. A good thing for us always to do. Someone who has served our community for many years. For now, our concluding prayers, and if you wish, please rise as we turn to Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, v'atei gdula l'yotzeh bereshit, asher sam chalkeinu li'ached et shemon, v'gor aleinu l'hamlich malchuto. On this day, let us dedicate ourselves anew to the task that our ancestors tried in all their higher moments to fulfill, to bring nearer a time when all your children will understand that they are brothers and sisters, so that one in spirit and fellowship, they may be forever united before you. Then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the word of your prophet shall be fulfilled.
Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimlach leolam vaed.
We remember at this time those who died in recent days. Our member Susan Lawton, the mother of Jenny Stephanie, and also Valerie Pamela Peter, the sister of Leonard Peter. And we think of those who died at this time of the year in years gone by. Albert Simons, the father of Adele Larkin, and grandfather to Emily and Isabel. Amber Jane Newson, the daughter of Jane Goff. Eileen de Grasser, mother of Susan Morris, and Rachel Morris, mother of John. Gerald Grossman, the father of Nigel. Isaac Joseph Plain, the father of Helene and husband of Gita, grandfather of Holly and Ross Bell. Leslie Winston, the husband of Carol, father of Debbie Davis and Stephen Ling Winston. Lily Windsor, the mother of Marion Dow. Louis Dankner, the grandfather of Ellie. Zecher Tzadikim Livracha. May all that was dear and good in their lives endure always as a blessing and as a continual influence for good. Let us join our voices together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon v'yom echon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'tada v'talei v'talal shemei dekudesha v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru. Amen. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, to all peoples, and to those that mourn. And let us together say,
Amen.
In a few moments, we do ask you to move over to Zoom to join us for Kiddush and to, as I said, greet Ian, who hopefully will be joining us. Hopefully the technology will work out perfectly well. Great thanks this evening. Without Rabbi Leah's support, we have managed our way through a service, which is a minor miracle. Thank you to Richard, as ever, who was plutzing a little bit before the service. For Ruth, for appearing on the bima for the first time through a service and managing all of you to be able to read through the service. And as ever, well, we don't know how many more times we're going to have Ollie coming in here, so we're going to make the most of it coming here for Ollie playing on the keyboard this evening and Leora as well. And thank you, everybody, for singing with us this evening, putting your voices together and, as we hope, being yad b'yad, hand in hand. Yad b'yad, echad im hasheni, am echad echad, keinanu nadlik mesuat olam, nadlika echad, yad b'yad echad, keinanu nadlik, ilen kemach Torah, imei Torah ken kama, ilen kemach Torah, imei Torah ken kama. It can be you, it can be me, it can be all of the people all over the world, caring and sharing, hand in hand. It can be you, it can be me, it can be all of the people all over the world, caring and sharing, hand in hand. Shabbat Shalom. Do join us now for Kiddush. Absolutely fantastic. That was such a jog. Sorry, you had your shoulders up. I always end up with sort of like so stiff. Actually, should we switch over?